Hello students. In my previous video, I explained you in detail about the basal ganglia. Okay. Now, in this video, I will explain you a very important topic, that is the basal ganglia pathway or the thalamocortical pathway. So, please go through my previous video to understand what is basal ganglia of the brain. Okay. Now, pathway is direct pathway and indirect pathway. There are two pathways of the basal ganglia. There is direct pathway and indirect pathway. Now daily we do lot of movements and activities. We do writing, we eat and we walk and everything. Whatever movements, there are lot of activities going on. We are not sitting stable. There is continuous movements in our body. Now these movements are coordinated by a pathway which is known as basal ganglia pathway. A very important pathway in the brain itself. Okay, it is not involving the spinal cord. Okay, all the components in the brain itself, there is a pathway. That's why it is known as thalamocortical pathway. Okay, from thalamus to cortex, only the brain. Okay, now two pathways, direct and indirect. The direct pathway is excitatory, okay, and indirect pathway is inhibitory. Okay, so please remember this. Each and every word is very important. The direct pathway is excitatory and indirect pathway is inhibitory. Okay, so two pathways, direct and indirect. Direct is excitatory and indirect is inhibitory. Okay, now basal ganglia are a part of extrapyramidal system. It participates in movement modulations. Okay, so coordinated movements, unwanted movements not required, the movements which are very important, these are all coordinated in this pathway. So this basal ganglia are a part of extrapyramidal system and it participates in movement modulation. Okay, now we'll go one by one. There are input signals from the cerebral cortex are received, processed within the basal ganglia. So the input signals from the cerebral cortex, okay, there are various input signals from the cerebral cortex are received, processed within the basal ganglia. Okay, so from the cerebral cortex there are various input signals which are processed. First they are received and then processed in the basal ganglia. After that it will create a focus output signals that reach the motor neurons of the frontal lobe and the brainstem. These signals serve for planning and proper execution of the movement. Okay, so input signals are from the cerebral cortex. They are received and processed in the various components of the basal ganglia, and then there are output signals that reach the motor neurons of the frontal lobe. You know that in frontal lobe there are motor neurons. Okay, primary motor cortex, premotor cortex. So it will reach there. Okay, and these signals, they serve for planning and proper execution of a movement. So these output signals which are coming from the basal ganglia are required for planning and proper execution of the movement. Unlike the cerebellum, the basal ganglia do not receive input signals from the spinal cord. Okay, so basal ganglia is receiving the signals from the cortex itself. Okay, and cerebellum is receiving from the spinal cord, but they are directly connected to the cerebral cortex. So basal ganglia are receiving the signals from the cerebral cortex, directly from the cerebral cortex, unlike the cerebellum which is receiving the signals from the spinal cord. So this entire pathway is within the brain, within the cerebral cortex. Okay, so input signals are from the cerebral cortex. Okay, it goes to the basal ganglia, it is received and processed in the basal ganglia, the signals. Then there are output signals that will go to the motor neurons of the frontal lobe. Okay, and These signals are required for planning and proper execution of the movement. Cerebellum receives input signals from the spinal cord, but basal ganglia, it directly receives from the cerebral cortex. Now, as you know, I told you there are two pathways, direct and indirect. I will teach you one by one what is direct pathway and what is indirect pathway. Direct pathway is excitatory and indirect pathway is inhibitory. Okay, so the direct pathway is excitatory and the indirect pathway is inhibitory. Okay, so we'll go further with the direct pathway. Now, this direct pathway, it begins in the cortex. Okay, this direct pathway, it begins in the cortex. Okay, it begins in the cortex and it travels through the striatum. That is, striatum consists of what? The putamen and the caudate nucleus, to the globus pallidus internal and substantia nigra pars reticulata, and then it goes to the thalamus and then returning back to the cortex. Okay, now I'll again repeat about the direct pathway. What is direct pathway? The direct pathway, okay, it begins in the cortex. So this is the cortex. It begins in the cortex. Okay, it begins in the cortex and it travels through the corpus striatum. Now, what corpus striatum consists of? Caudate nucleus and the putamen. So, from cortex it goes to the caudate nucleus and the putamen, and then it goes to the globus pallidus internal. From putamen goes to the globus pallidus internal and substantia nigra reticulata. Okay, then substantia nigra reticulata, and then it goes to the thalamus, and from thalamus then it returns back to the cortex. This is the direct pathway which is excited. Again I repeat, it begins from the cortex, the signals, it begins from the cortex, it travels through the substantia nigra. What is substantia nigra consisting of? The caudate nucleus and the putamen. Okay, then it travels through this and then reach to the globus pallidus internal. Okay, it reached to the globus pallidus internal and the substantia nigra. Okay, you can see this is the darker portion. This is substantia nigra. Okay, and then from substantia nigra it goes to the thalamus and then to the cortex again. So, if I show you here, this is direct cortex. From cortex there is travels to the striatum, that is putamen and caudate nucleus, then it goes to the globus pallidus internal and substantia nigra pars reticulata, then it goes to the thalamus, and from thalamus it reaches again to the cortex. So this is the sequence of the signals. Please, this is very, very important. Okay, from cortex the signals travels to the striatum, putamen plus caudate nucleus, then it goes to the internal globus pallidus and substantia nigra pars reticulata, then it goes to the thalamus, and from thalamus it goes to the cortex. So this is the pathway of the basal ganglia. Which pathway? Direct pathway. Now what happens? We'll see. This pathway is excitatory, that means it promotes movement. Excitatory means it will promote movement. It will lead to movements in the body. Direct pathway is excitatory because the signals are such that it leads to excitation of the cortex, and if cortex get excited it will lead to movements in the body. From cortex to striatum, okay, from cortex to striatum pathway is excitatory. Okay, so you can see here from cortex to corpus striatum. the pathway is excitatory. The neurons in the corpus striatum are activated by the input signals from the cortex by the neurotransmitter called glutamate. Okay, so please focus on this diagram. I am just explaining you. Please listen and focus on this diagram. The direct pathway is excitatory, that means it will promote movement. From cortex to the striatum, okay, from cortex to the striatum, the neurons in the striatum, okay, the neurons in the striatum, okay, are activated by the input signals from the cortex by the neurotransmitter called the glutamate. So the signals which are coming from the cortex to the striatum, they are excitatory signals. And which is the neurotransmitter? Here is glutamate. Okay. Now, we'll proceed further. These neurons which are activated in the striatum are inhibitory neurons. Now, the signals coming from the cortex will excite the striatum, but in the striatum there are inhibitory neurons present. So what will happen? There will be excitement of the inhibitory neurons. Okay, the inhibitory neurons are excited. Okay, so these neurons activated in the striatum are inhibitory neurons which uses GABA neurotransmitters as their main inhibitory neurotransmitters. So in striatum there are inhibitory neurons which are excited by the neurons from the cortex with the help of neurotransmitter glutamate. And from the striatum, from the striatum there are inhibitory neurons which uses GABA. It is one of the neurotransmitter as their main inhibitory neurotransmitter. Now the axons from the striatum reaches the globus pallidus and substantia nigra pars reticulata. Okay, so it will reach the globus pallidus internal and substantia nigra pars reticulata. Okay, so the pathway from the striatum to the globus pallidus internus. So the pathway from the striatum to the globus pallidus internus is inhibitory. Okay, the neurons from globus pallidus internus and substantia nigra pars reticulata sends their axons to the thalamus. So from the internal globus pallidus and substantia nigra, the signals, that is the neurons, are sent to the thalamus. Okay, it is receiving signals from globus pallidus internal and substantia nigra reticulata, that is thalamus is receiving. Now even these neurons are inhibitory type. These fibers going from globus pallidus internal to the thalamus form two fascicles of white matter called the ansa reticularis and reticular fasciculus. Okay. Now the neurons, that is the inhibitory neurons from the globus pallidus internus and substantia nigra, okay, it will reach to the thalamus. It will reach the thalamus. Okay. Now these fibers from globus pallidus internus to the thalamus, they form two fascicles. So the neurons which are traveling from the globus pallidus internal to the thalamus, they form two fascicles and of white matter. Which are the fascicles? Ansa lenticularis and lenticular fasciculus. And before entering to the thalamus, they fuse into one pathway called thalamus fasciculus. Okay. So from globus pallidus internus, the fibers which are reaching the thalamus, they form two fascicles of white matter which are known as ansa lenticularis and lenticular fasciculus. And before entering the thalamus, these two fasciculus, they will fuse to form a single pathway which is known as thalamus fasciculus. Hence the pathway from globus pallidus internus to the thalamus is again inhibitory pathway. Okay. Now from the thalamus, excitatory pathway goes to the cortex, which is premotor, prefrontal and supplementary areas of the cortex. So from the thalamus, the excitatory pathway, it starts and it goes to the cortex, premotor and prefrontal and supplementary areas of the cortex. This excitatory pathway, it affects the planning of the movements by synapsing with the neurons of the corticospinal and corticobulbar tracts. Okay. So this excitatory pathway, which is coming from the thalamus and going to the cortex, where it will synapse with the neurons of the corticospinal and corticobulbar tracts. Thus the tract from the thalamus to the motor cortex is excitatory. Okay, so this is excitatory. The first and the last one are the excitatory, whereas the second and the third are the inhibitory. So you can see here, the first and the last is the excitatory and the second and the third are the inhibitory pathways. Okay, clear? So this was about the pathway which I explained you right now. Okay, so if I take here in this diagram, I'll again repeat this pathway. This pathway is excitatory, that is the direct pathway in a simplified model. This is excitatory because it promotes movement. It promotes movement. So that's why it is known as excitatory pathway. From cerebral cortex to the striatum, okay, from cerebral cortex to the striatum, this pathway is excitatory. The neurons in the striatum are activated by the input signals from the cortex by the neurotransmitter called glutamate. So here is a neurotransmitter which leads to excitement of the striatum with the help of glutamate. These neurons which are activated in the striatum, the neurons which are activated in the striatum by the excitatory neurotransmitters, okay, are the inhibitory neurons. So in the striatum there are inhibitory neurons which are excited, okay, by the inhibitory with the help of excitatory neurotransmitters. Okay. Now these neurons which are activated in the striatum are inhibitory neurons which uses GABA, which uses GABA neurotransmitter as their main inhibitory neurotransmitter. Okay, so here is the GABA, here is the glutamate. The axons from the striatum, it reaches the globus pallidus internal and substantia nigra pars reticulata. Okay, the neurons or the axons from the striatum, they reach the globus pallidus internal substantia nigra pars reticulata. Okay, so this way it is flowing. The pathway from striatum to globus pallidus internus. Okay, the pathway from striatum to the globus pallidus internal. You can see here this pathway. The pathway from striatum to the globus pallidus internus and substantia nigra pars reticulata is inhibitory pathway. Okay, now the neurons from the globus pallidus internal, the neurons from the globus pallidus internal and substantia nigra pars reticulata, they sense their axons to the thalamus. Even these neurons are inhibitory. So they are inhibitory projections, inhibit thalamic neurons and suppresses movement. So from this there are inhibitory neurons, okay, which are going to the thalamus. Okay, these fibers going from the globus pallidus internal to the thalamus, they form two fascicles of white matter called the ansa reticularis and lenticular fasciculus. Ansa lenticularis and lenticular fasciculus, two fascicles. Now before entering the thalamus, these two fascicles, they unite to form thalamus fasciculus. Hence, the pathway from globus pallidus internal to the thalamus is again inhibitory pathway. From the thalamus, excitatory pathway, it goes to the cerebral cortex, which is premotor, prefrontal and supplementary areas of the cortex. This excitatory pathway affects the planning. What does it do? The excitatory pathway, it affects the planning, okay, of the movement. It affects the planning of the movement by synapsing with the neurons of the corticospinal and corticobulbar tract. So it will synapse with this pathway, okay, this excitatory pathway will synapse with the corticospinal and corticobulbar tracts. Thus, the tracts from the thalamus to the motor cortex is excitatory. So, the tract from the thalamus to the motor cortex is excitatory. So, the first and the last is the excitatory tract, and the second and the third are the inhibitory. Okay. This entire system works on the positive feedback mechanism. Two inhibitory synapses are connected one after the another. The first inhibitory neuron, which is the corpus striatum, it suppresses the activity of the second inhibitory neuron. Okay. So what they are saying, this completely depends upon the negative feedback, positive feedback mechanism. The second inhibitory synapse are connected one after the another. Okay. So if you see, the second and the third, these two are connected one after the another. This inhibitory are connected one after the another. Excitatory is first and the last, but inhibitory is second and third, connected one after the another. Two inhibitory synapses are connected one after the another. So they are connected one after the another. Okay. The first inhibitory neuron, this is the first inhibitory neuron, which is the striatum. It suppresses the activity of the second inhibitory neuron. So first inhibitory neuron, which is the striatum, it suppresses the activity of the second inhibitory neuron, which is the globus pallidus internal. Due to this, there will be reduction of the inhibitory influence of the globus pallidus internal over the thalamus. What they are saying? The first inhibitory neuron, that is the striatum, it suppresses the activity of the second inhibitory neuron, which is globus pallidus internal. Now striatum is inhibiting the globus pallidus internal. Due to this, there will be reduction of the inhibitory influence of the globus pallidus internal over the thalamus. Okay. So there would be disinhibition of the thalamus, which is equivalent to the excitation of the motor cortex. Now what they are saying, from the striatum, inhibitory neurons which will inhibit the inhibitory neurons which are present in the globus pallidus. So inhibition of the inhibitory neurons will lead to excitation. So two negative, inhibitory will lead to a positive reaction. Clear? So corpus striatum is inhibiting the inhibitory neurons from the globus pallidus. So there will be disinhibition of the thalamus, which is equivalent to the excitation of the motor cortex. So inhibition, negative lead to one positive reaction. So there is disinhibition of the thalamus, which is equivalent to the excitation. If no inhibition, there is excitation. Okay. So the general function of the direct pathway of the basal ganglia is to excite the motor cortex or increase the motor activity. It is excitatory. Okay. So cerebral cortex, excitatory glutamate, it goes to the striatum. It is excited. The inhibitory neurons reaches the globus pallidus internal and substantia nigra, pars reticulata. These are inhibitory GABA neurotransmitter. This inhibits the globus pallidus and substantia nigra inhibitory neurons. So it leads to excitation. Okay. And this excitation signals it reach to the cerebral cortex, which lead to the motor activity. Okay. So this was all about the direct pathway. In my next video, I will talk about the indirect pathway of the basal ganglia. Thank you, students.